look at the calendar. Just, take a second and look at it. It is June 23, 2026.
Right in the middle of it all.
Exactly. The World Cup is currently just raging across the United States and Mexico. The entire globe has their eyes glued to the grass watching these group stages unfold.
As they should be.
Yeah, as they should be. But I need you, yes, you listening to this deep dive right now, to just look away from the pitch for a second. Turn your attention strictly to the boardroom.
Because that's where the actual blood is being spilled right now.
Thank you. While the cameras are focused on the stadiums, the real tremors, like the absolute market-shattering earthquakes, are happening behind closed doors. Usually, a summer transfer window has a rhythm to it. Right?
Oh, yeah. You wait for the season to end, the agents start leaking some numbers, and, well, eventually a deal gets done. It's clean.
Right, it's transactional. But not this summer.
No, absolutely not. That rule book is, frankly, currently burning in the street.
Yeah.
What you are witnessing right now is not a standard transfer window.
Yeah.
It is a high-stakes, multi-billion-euro boardroom war. And I need to be crystal clear here. Nothing you are seeing play out in the public sphere is an accident.
Not a single thing.
Every leak figure, every quote, every deafening silence, it is all calculated, weaponized leverage.
Which is exactly why we are here today. Our mission with this analysis is to just cut straight through that deafening noise. We are bringing you right into the Valdebebas war room.
We have to. The public doesn't see the internal strategy.
Right. We're breaking down the exclusive internal strategy driving Real Madrid right now. And we are talking about a strategy that is aggressive, it's cold-blooded, and it is just downright ruthless.
Ruthless is the perfect word for it.
So Julián Alvarez has just detonated an absolute bomb in the middle of the market. Florentino Perez is actively hunting a Galactico of terrifying proportions, and there is a critical ticking clock hanging over one of the greatest homegrown prodigies we've seen in years.
Let's start with the loudest blast on the radar, right? The Alvarez situation.
Yeah, let's get into it, because Madrid is currently playing a game of 4D chess that is actively destroying a rival's stability.
It really is a masterclass in psychological warfare. I mean, let's just look at the raw data for a second. Julián Alvarez just shocked the entire footballing establishment by publicly demanding a transfer.
While sitting right in the middle of the Argentine World Cup camp.
Exactly. Which is unheard of.
I cannot overstate how contracultural that is, You do not disrupt Lionel Scaloni's camp. That Argentine squad, they operate like a mafia family.
Oh, completely tight-knit, fiercely loyal.
Yeah, zero outside distractions allowed. So for Alvarez to break ranks and just demand an exit mid-tournament, it shows a staggering level of desperation from the player.
It shows desperation, yes, but more importantly, it forces an immediate, uncontainable crisis over at the Metropolitano. Atletico Madrid's front office is furious right now.
Livid.
And you have to remember, Atletico is now heavily backed by the Apollo Investment Fund. They have corporate mandates.
Right, there are suits to answer to now.
Exactly. So they're desperately trying to project strength to the market, but behind the scenes, it is pure chaos. The definitive stance coming out of their camp, internally, is that they will not sell Alvarez to Barcelona.
Ever.
The phrasing circulating among the top executives is literally, quote, over their dead body.
So, okay, Barcelona is locked out of the room, but the Sharks in the Premier League and League One are circling hard.
Very hard.
Mikel Arteta is personally making phone calls to bring him to Arsenal. PSG has Luis Enrique hovering, just, ready to drop oil money on the table.
The strategic blueprint right now suggests Arsenal is exploring a massive swap deal.
Wait, a swap?
Yeah, we are talking 40 to 60 million euros in pure cash, plus sending Victor Gyokeres to Madrid.
Wow.
Now, if Atletico demands a straight cash deal, the floor price sits around 130 million euros. But, and here is the critical piece, the maneuver that changes everything. Earlier in June, Real Madrid seemingly put a 150 million euro offer on the table for Alvarez.
And this is where you have to separate the surface narrative from the boardroom reality, right?
You have to, because that 150 million euro offer, it was a phantom offer.
A ghost.
A complete smokescreen designed by Florentino Perez.
Yeah.
There was zero, and I mean zero, genuine sporting intention of bringing Julián Alvarez to the Bernabeu for that price tag.
Okay, I am going to push back on this strategy right now.
Go ahead.
Because if we put a fake 150 million euro price tag on the table, aren't we just inflating the market floor?
Well,
Like, it's like bidding up a penthouse you have absolutely no intention of buying just to bankrupt the guy next to you.
that's exactly what it is.
But worse than that, aren't we risking driving Alvarez straight into the arms of Arsenal? You are handing a direct Champions League rival a legal weapon just to, what, play mind games with Atletico?
See, you are missing the broader mechanism of how this specific market operates.
Yeah.
Florentino is not looking at this as a buyer. He is operating as the apex predator of the ecosystem.
Okay, explain that.
By dropping a €150 million phantom offer, he accomplishes three massive objectives instantly. First, he completely paralyzes Barcelona.
Because they can't match it.
They cannot even dream of restructuring their debt to match that number. They're frozen. Second, he forces Atletico Madrid to demand an astronomical fee from those Premier League clubs.
Ah, so he raises the ceiling on them.
Exactly. Arsenal might want him, but anchoring the price at $150 million stalls their negotiations. It bleeds Atletico's focus and prolongs their internal crisis.
They are just stuck dealing with this drama for weeks.
Right. And third, it makes the player himself incredibly restless. Alvarez suddenly sees his valuation skyrocket, making him feel drastically undervalued by his current contract.
So Madrid just lit a match and walked away.
Madrid has essentially dropped a grenade, stepped aside with their arms crossed, and is now just watching their rivals bleed time, energy, and capital.
It is so ruthless. I mean, it's brilliant, but it begs a massive question. You do not posture like that, you do not throw around phantom €150 million figures unless you are clearing the runway for a genuine strike.
You don't.
So if the Alvarez bid was just an illusion, where is Florentino actually preparing to drop the nuclear payload?
The internal consensus inside Valdebebas points to an absolute obsession right now. Michael Olise from Bayern Munich.
Oh my God, €200 million. That is the number I'm seeing floating around.
North of 200 million easily.
Oh.
Florentino wants an operation of massive global impact. He wants the kind of transfer that, well, that stops the Earth from spinning.
And Olise does that.
He fits that profile perfectly. He is a dynamic, left-footed right-winger who can completely alter the geometry of a match, but extracting him from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that requires an astronomical financial package.
Yes.
But hold on, let's look at the reality on the pitch for a second, because this is where the boardroom ambition crashes straight into Carlo Ancelotti's reality.
The tactical side.
Right. You are trying to cram 5 massive V8 engines into one Ferrari chassis. You already have Kylian Mbappe, you have Vinicius Jr., you have Rodrigo.
Yeah, the front line is packed.
And now you want to drop Michael Olise into that mix. It's tactical suicide. At some point, you don't even have a steering wheel. Who is actually going to play in the midfield to balance this out?
Well,
Like, if you play all of them, your double pivot is going to be defending 40 yards of open space on every single counterattack.
it is a terrifying tactical bottleneck, and Ancelotti is fully aware of the math. If a €200 million Galactico like Olise arrives, it forces an immediate, painful, and highly public exit from that front line.
Someone has to go.
You cannot mathematically or tactically satisfy all of them. And the ripple effects of this bottleneck are already moving through the market. Just look at Endrick. His camp is watching this situation with eagle eyes.
Oh, they have to be. I mean, Endrick didn't cross the Atlantic to sit in the stands and be the 5th choice forward.
Exactly.
He's looking at this Olise rumor and thinking, where do I fit?
Precisely. And the market knows it. Inter Milan already quietly inquired about Endrick's availability back in February and March.
Inter Milan. Wow.
Yeah. They run a 3-5-2 system, they need dynamic forwards, and they see a potential opening. If Olise arrives and Endrick's path to the first team is permanently blocked, he will demand an exit. The club is playing a very dangerous high-stakes game of dominoes here.
So what happens if Bayern Munich simply locks the door? Like, what if the German board decides Olise is strictly untouchable, regardless of the price?
Then the war room activates Plan B. The scouting network is currently tearing through the World Cup looking for emerging world-class profiles.
Who are they looking at?
Ousmane Diomande is a name flashing bright red on the monitors.
Right, okay.
But beyond reinforcing the attack, there is a profound push from the coaching staff to restructure the midfield. Jose Mourinho is actively demanding reinforcement. His specific primary target right now is Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo, right, because the unrest at Chelsea following Enzo Maresca's departure has left him highly unhappy.
Exactly. The instability at Stamford Bridge is a glaring vulnerability that Madrid is positioning to exploit. But here is the unavoidable reality, right? Whether you are hunting down a €200 million OLISE or extracting Enzo Fernandez from the Premier League, you need unquestionable financial leverage. You need liquid capital, and you need it by the end of the fiscal week.
Which brings us to the ticking clock. Thursday, June 30th.
The deadline.
If the club does not act by midnight on Thursday, this entire financial house of cards collapses. We really need to explain the NICO mechanism to you listening, because this is financial chess at its highest possible level.
It really is.
NICO has arguably been the best midfielder in Serie A this season. He led Como into the Champions League. He is a generational superstar in the making. And Madrid holds a buyback clause of roughly €9 million that expires this Thursday.
$9 million. That's a steal.
Now, there is a €10 million window next year, but the internal consensus is that waiting is not an option.
No, waiting is an unacceptable risk. Leaving a talent like Paz at Como for a third year when his market value is surging exponentially is just boardroom negligence.
His value is at an all-time high.
The directive is crystal clear. Madrid must trigger that €9 million clause by Thursday.
Right. Because once Madrid buys him back for €9 million, his true open market value is easily north of €100 million.
Easily.
But here is where the strategy gets incredibly complex. Madrid is internally valuing him at $60 million for a sale this summer. Why? I mean, why would Florentino Perez willingly take a €40 million haircut on one of the brightest young talents in the world?
Control. It's all about control. If you sell him for $100 million on the open market, he is gone forever. You lose the asset permanently.
Okay.
Madrid is willing to value him at $60 million for an immediate sale only if the purchasing club agrees to insert a future buyback clause. Madrid demands to retain control over his ultimate destiny.
So they get the cash, but keep the leash.
Exactly. They need the immediate cash injection to fund the Galactico hunt, but they refuse to sever ties with the player's future.
I have to admit, this is where the logic feels cold. Like, why would any purchasing club, let's say Arsenal or Chelsea, agree to pay €60 million for a player they don't fully own?
It sounds crazy on paper.
They are essentially renting him. If he turns into a Ballon d'Or contender, Madrid just snaps their fingers and takes him back. Why does the market accept these terms?
Because you have to look at the profitability and sustainability rules, the FFP mechanisms. It allows a club like Chelsea to amortize a world-class talent right now without paying the $100 million open market premium.
Ah, the accounting.
Right. If Chelsea buys him for $60 million on a 5-year contract, that only hits their yearly accounting books for €12 million.
That's nothing for them.
If they pay the full $100 million, it's $20 million a year. That €8 million difference per season is massive for keeping their financial books compliant. They get a Champions League level midfielder today, keep their FFP ledger clean, and just, accept the risk of the buyback.
And for Madrid.
It is the perfect mechanism to generate immediate capital.
But to fund this €200 million war chest, they're shaking the couch cushions. It's not just NICO Paz. We are seeing a complete liquidation of the fringe.
Everyone is on the block.
Fran Garcia is definitively on the market. And please, ignore those weak Juventus rumors. That is pure agent fabrication. They are actively pushing Dani Ceballos toward the exit to clear his wages.
They need the space.
They're even letting youth managers like Alvaro Arbeloa walk. He's in advanced talks to take over Fulham in the Premier League. The entire institution is shedding weight, optimizing every single asset to gather the capital for one massive strike.
It is a ruthless optimization of the club's resources. You cannot rely on selling shirts to compete with state-backed sovereign wealth funds or the limitless television revenue of the Premier League.
You just can't.
The academy, the fringe players, the youth staff, they all serve as an economic engine to fund the ultimate ambition of the first team.
And that financial paranoia, that relentless need to generate capital to survive against state-backed clubs, that is the exact same survival instinct driving the legal war right now.
The CVC battle.
Yes, let's look at the CVC lawsuit, because this is the battle for the financial soul of Spanish football. Real Madrid just secured a major Supreme Court victory. They successfully had Javier Tebas's clandestine August 2021 assembly declared entirely illegal.
Which is a staggering blow to La Liga's executive branch. Tebas tried to push through a deal that would mortgage roughly 10% of the league's television rights for the next half-century in exchange for a quick €2 billion cash injection, for the struggling clubs.
And Florentino looked at that and saw a financial death sentence for the year 2070.
Exactly.
But the legal reality is a double-edged sword right now. While Madrid won on the legality of the assembly itself, the Audiencia Provincial just ruled against Madrid regarding the actual substance of the CVC deal.
Meaning the deal stands for now. The funds have been distributed. But, when Madrid refuses to yield a single inch, they are immediately appealing to the Supreme Court.
They won't stop.
You have to understand the compound loss here. Giving up 10% of your broadcast revenue for 50 years, factoring in global inflation and the rising value of sports rights, is catastrophic.
It's billions.
Florentino Perez is fighting a war today to protect the club's balance sheet in the 2060s. He will not allow the institution to be shackled to a depreciating asset model just to bail out the poor financial management of rival clubs today.
It is the exact same DNA. I am looking at this boardroom warfare, the financial engineering of the NICO Paz deal, the willingness to suffocate La Liga in the Supreme Court over a 50-year horizon, and then I look at the television screen showing the World Cup.
Yeah.
It is the identical mentality on the pitch. You look at Cristiano Ronaldo.
41 years old.
41 years old.
Oh.
And he just scored a brace in a 5-0 demolition of Uzbekistan. He just became the first player in the history of the sport to score in 6 different World Cups.
Unbelievable.
The oldest player to ever score a brace on that stage. He surpassed Eusebio with 10 World Cup goals. He is out there sprinting to the near post, throwing his body at the ball like his actual life depends on it.
Every single game.
Meanwhile, and let's just be ruthlessly honest about what we're watching in this tournament, you have Lionel Messi over there scoring 2 goals at an absolute walking pace, barely breaking a sweat. The contrast is night and day.
Because what you see in Ronaldo is the physical, living manifestation of the Real Madrid boardroom. It is a pathological, institutional refusal to accept defeat, decline, or compromise.
That's perfectly said.
Whether you are a 41-year-old striker fighting for a loose ball in the 6-yard box against Uzbekistan, or you are a club president fighting a syndicate of desperate clubs in the Supreme Court.
The directive is identical. Dominate the space. Give up nothing.
Exactly. Give up nothing.
So what does this all mean for you, sitting in the war room with us today? Let's quickly recap the sheer, terrifying scale of Madrid's operations right now. We have psychological warfare, tearing Atletico Madrid's summer apart with a €150 million phantom offer for Julián Alvarez.
A ghost bid designed entirely to paralyze the European market.
We have the relentless pursuit of a €200 million Galactico in Michael Olise, a move so massive it threatens to upend the entire tactical structure of the team and potentially forces generational talents like Endrick to look for an escape hatch.
Like calculated risk to maintain global sporting supremacy.
We have the financial engineering of the NICO Paz buyback happening this Thursday, turning a €9 million clause into a €60 million war chest while using FFP amortization loopholes to convince Premier League clubs to accept a buyback clause.
Liquidating fringe assets to fund the apex predators.
And finally, we have the endless grinding legal war with La Liga over the next 50 years of television revenue, refusing to mortgage the future of the club.
Because this is the reality of elite football.
It really is. It is not just about what happens on the grass for 90 minutes. It is a high-stakes, multi-billion euro game of 3D chess.
Fought with phantom offers.
Yeah, with legal threats in the highest courts, with complex buyback structures, and with pure, unadulterated willpower.
The game never stops. While the world watches the World Cup, the future of the sport is being decided in the boardroom.
Which leaves us with one final, explosive question for you to chew on before we close out this deep dive. Look at all the mechanisms we've just unpacked. If Real Madrid successfully pulls off this NICO Paz financial flip and they use that leveraged capital to fund a massive €200 million Galactico without triggering a single financial fair play alarm, does the traditional transfer market even exist anymore?
That's the real question.
Or has Florentino Perez completely hacked the global financial system, leaving the rest of Europe desperately bidding on that penthouse, playing a game that Madrid finished a decade ago? Keep your eyes open, watch the deadlines, and don't get distracted by the noise. We will be right back here to break down the fallout next time.